So today's video isn't me wanging on about shoes for a change. It was today's video is inspired more by something that a lot of us do this year, which is reflect. I'm recording this just for Christmas, and I was just thinking about how the year's gone, and I think I'm in a pretty strong position to make a claim for being the luckiest woman on the planet. I realise that's quite bold, and I feel I need to provide evidence. I have two main bits of evidence. The first one is this. Last week at the Women's Institute Christmas raffle for Mill Road, I entered, and I know it's not a big deal. I put a £5 in, which is maybe more than I would have done, and I mainly put a £5 in just to prove to everybody that I was very, very unlucky at raffles. And it doesn't matter how much money I put in, I never win, ever, which is quite something, but I'm just rubbish at them. And I always justified it to myself, saying, well, look, I'm lucky at life, but something about me in raffles doesn't work. And yet, the very last ticket drawn, I'm not lying, the last ticket drawn, I got a prize, and it was this. Now, I realised that this might not seem a great return on a fiver, it probably costs a couple of quid, but yeah, it broke my duck. I'm 58 now, maybe not been in raffles since I was 0, but that's probably 50 years of not great luck on these things, and yet, hey, winner! So it wasn't just that. There's something else that's happened that perhaps makes a stronger claim, and it's this. Story does start a little bit before 2024. Back in the summer before that, my husband said to me over breakfast, so I'm thinking of doing a DNA test. It's buy one, get one free. Why don't you join me? It's free. Yeah, why don't I do that? That could be interesting, quite apart from anything else. I'm adopted, and I was told by my biological mother when I met her back in the 90s that the name of my father, we tried to track him down. I met his sister, and sadly she made it clear to me that he didn't want to have anything to do with me. I got really well with her, but his wife didn't know, and that was never going to happen. So it was always a source of some sadness for me. But with these 30 years ago, that was, with this DNA test result, it might just give me a kick up the backside and a bit of impetus to try and contact him again, because that would be nice. It's always been a sadness that he's never wanted to have anything to do with me, even though I was brought up in a really loving family, and I have a really great brother and sister, even though we're not related by blood. It doesn't really matter, they're your family. And so anyway, that's the background. I took the test. I'm looking through the results, and there isn't just one box that says Jew. My biological father was Jewish, so I thought, I'm looking at these results thinking, hang on a minute, I don't see there's any Jewish in me at all. There is one box on these things, if you take them you'll know, that says Jewish, but there are only about a quarter, I think, of Jews fall into that. What you're looking for on top of that is either some ancestry from the North Africa, the Levantine, Eastern Europe, even Spain or Italy. I had none of these. I just had English, Scottish, French, pretty much it. So I'm in shock. In some ways it's good news that the man who didn't want to have anything to do with me isn't my dad. But still, all my life I thought I was half Jewish. It's one thing that I had in common with my half sibling, my adoptive siblings, is that we share that. But no, all gone. So I ended up having to come out to my Jewish friends by saying, I said I was half Jewish. Well, I'm not. Of course, none of them cared. They thought, this is fine, we still love you, sir, it's fine. Anyway, moving back to the story. So I ended up posting these results on a Facebook page that's good at DNA queries, just to be sure that I was reading it correctly. And indeed I was. I got a lot of very helpful replies saying, these results, you've interpreted them correctly, you're not Jewish. One wonderful woman called Serena, she dropped me a line and she said, this must be really upsetting and shocking for you, which it was. I'm a search angel, and I reckon I can find your biological father. So I thought, yeah, I'll do it, and I did. So I had to take another test. Serena told me that I don't think the results are going to be different, but this ancestry has a much bigger database, and you'll find it much more easily there. So took another test, posted it off to her, and then with three or 4 hours, I get a message pinged back to me. Hi Sarah, this is, I believe I found your biological father. This is him, he's called Graham. This is his Facebook profile here. Ping. Instantly I can scroll through his profile, I can see what he looks like, see what he's like. And then another message. And hi Sarah, I believe this is your half-brother Matthew. And this is your half-sister Sarah. Also Sarah, whoa. And again, links to their Facebook profile so I can have a good old mosey and look at what they're like. It's just mind-blowing. So the next week I'm scrolling through these people who are kind of my family and trying to work out what they're like and also work out what to do next. What do you do with that information? I mean, I always knew in my heart I had to at least try to contact these people. So it took me a week to come up with a message. I decided against going, Daddy, Daddy. Maybe that might just cause a block or a delete. So I wrote a very neutral message saying something along the lines of, hi Graham, I'm Sarah. I believe you were friends, friends with my mum, Linda. And a load of information that would mean I was not a scammer, that I knew a bit about him and about his life back in the 60s when I was conceived. And I press send and I look at my husband and think, now what? Maybe he won't reply, he might delete it, might block me, he might not even see it, he may not be very active on Facebook. And yet within about 20 minutes, ping, hi Sarah, it's Graham. Lovely to hear from you. Often wonder what happened to your mum. Let's stay in touch. Which is just amazing. So the next hour or so, we're just frantically messaging each other and to get to know each other. And then that morphs into video calls. And then we decide we'll meet. And this is maybe slightly harder than you might imagine because I'm actually very heavily disguised Canadian and that family is in Canada. My dad lives in Ottawa. So we decided to meet on neutral territory, which is Cuba. So in January this year, we flew out, me and my husband, to Cuba to meet him and his wife. And that's where the second miracle came. I mean, it's a miracle that we've met, that all of these things lined up and it happened. But the other miracle, which is possibly the bigger one, is that as soon as our eyes locked, I just knew we were going to get on so well. And obviously, I mean, that's not guaranteed for anyone. But we just did, and within days we were finishing each other's sentences, and we just hit it off so well. So we arranged in May. I went over with my sister, who I grew up with, Emma, and we met him because I really wanted my family I grew up with to meet my new biological family. So she met my dad and my half sister Sarah. And that went great, and then I went over to Ottawa where my dad lives, and I met my half-brother Matthew, and that went stupendously well too, from my perspective at least. And it was just great. So in August, my dad came over for 9 days, and he just stayed with us in England, and it was brilliant, just so easy. Like we've known each other all our lives. It's so weird. And I'm telling you all this now partly because in a couple of days' time I'm on a flight to Ottawa with my husband, and we're going to spend Christmas and New Year together. So that's that. So why am I telling you this? Well, I mean, if you're local to Cambridge, I'm afraid this means that the shop's going to be shut a bit more than normal. So we're closed from Christmas Eve through to the 30th of January. I'll put details on my Facebook page. The main reason really is just to say that, I mean, there's so much rubbishy news in the world at the moment. But there are good news stories out there, and I'm one of them. And we just need to recognise the good news when it happens. Also, I mean, the luck. I mean, usually, I mean, I'm 58. Usually, at my age, when you get a change of fortune, it's usually for the worst. That's how it feels anyway. But sometimes it's for the better, and you never know what's around the corner. So I'm sending you this. Really, I'm hoping that for you, that you'll get some of this luck next year, because for me, it's been life-changing. Merry Christmas.